Alright, so here we are trying again. This is about, I want to say, the 5th or the 6th junk journal I've made. The first few were for me, or they were for, gifts for friends and other people who are interested in junk journaling. The base of this, the cover, is from a Funk and Wagnall's encyclopedia set. It's a little mini set. So you can see when I put my hand over this, and I don't have very big hands. I have short, stumpy hands with little fat sausage fingers. Then I can pretty much cover it. It is just under 3 3/4 inches this way, and just under 6 1/4 inches this way. It's got 1.5 inch binder rings on it. The paper here is a pink tinged scrapbooking sheet with a French architectural kind of design on it. It's set up as little mini postcards, and then the image is spread out over those cards with the gaps on there. It's really cute. Over that, I have put a piece of cheesecloth that I sprayed with some of the Tim Holtz Distress ink. This is a Tim Holtz embellishment, a little mini envelope there. And then there are these two little embellishments that I didn't glue them down because I want whoever receives this, whoever purchases it, to have the option to change out the items if they don't care for these particular embellishments. Or they could stamp on the back or put some quotes or, a little mini list of something or the date, something of that nature in there. The title of this one is Noted, and this is just layered tea-dyed paper with a little bit of edging in the Tim Holtz Distress inks. Same with the back here. That's the same paper. You can see the little, lights there. And this has a damask stencil over it just to give it a little bit more interest. I don't know if I said 1.5 inch binder rings. So, I've got a little room to grow here. You could probably add in about 25 more pages if you wanted. The binder rings are great because it allows you to take the book apart, to use it, to work on it, to add things in, to rearrange it if you don't like the order it's in. It just gives you a lot of flexibility. I have put in eyelets to help protect where the binder rings are so it doesn't get frayed or worn out. And I have put book corners on the outer edge of the front and back cover there. So we'll go ahead and do a quick flip through as quick as I can. Oh, too far. So I've kind of cheated a little bit because I discovered in one of my other takes of this video that it was really hard to get the top loading page pocket, the tag out of there with just one hand. So over here is a wavy little pocket, and I have put in a little scrapbooking sheet that you can flip up. So it's the same front and back, and I've edged it in a complementary color to the pattern. Blank on the inside for lists or, a little journaling, whatever you want to do in there. And then I've included also a homemade tag, scrapbooking paper on the front, tea-dyed paper on the back, and I hand cut those myself, so they'll have their own particular imperfections. Now, I'm sorry if my fingers keep going in front of there. I'm trying desperately not to touch the screen because that's what keeps ending my videos. Same thing here, just a little extra piece of paper, and that slides down into this pocket, but you can tuck it in anywhere that you like. And then this tag would slide out of the top if I were able to use two hands. Now on these I've had to punch a little bit here to fit, because the pages are not very wide, to fit the tag inside the envelope once I punch the holes. It fits in there and you don't even notice, and I don't think it detracts from the tag any. Some of these are backed with brown paper bag, and some of them are backed with tea-dyed paper. I just had an assortment and I went with it as I was making these. And I've put a little eyelash trim and stuff on there for the fun of it with a little scrapbooking paper, and I will put all this back in after. It is too hard to try and do it while I'm trying to film this. Now the pocket pages here are made with mass market paper book pages. All of these will be a selection of paranormal romance, horror, suspense, sometimes a little mystery, and then there's just some other random books in there. Some of them are vintage, but most of them are not. You can use it for blackout poetry. You could, they're dip dyed in Rit dye, so this one is a light blue front and back. And you could push the text to the back with gesso or some white paint and, you know, do your own thing on there. You could embellish this with some other elements. I've left a lot of this kind of naked, quote unquote, so that it can be personalized by the person who purchases it. So after this envelope pocket, and this is just 2 book pages glued together, and I've used a circle stamp, half of it, to create the little divot there. So then I'll go through this and just really quickly, there's going to be repeats in the page types, but it'll give you a good idea of what's in the book. There'll be 22 more of these going up slowly over the next couple months, because it was a set that I purchased of these Funk and Wagnalls encyclopedias, and once I took them apart and I was using the guts for, you know, page tags and pocket pages and stuff, I wanted to use the book covers for something, and I just thought this was fun. My son called these pocket-sized junk journals, and they just about are, although I would not put this in my pocket because of the way it's bound, but it's totally a fun size. For me, I am an inveterate list maker. I love lists. I like just every kind of list you can think of: grocery lists, lists of movies, lists of books I want to read, lists of books I've read. If you could list it, so this is kind of good for a listy kind of person, or if you like to do a little journaling every day, but also include your own ephemera in there. It just offers a lot of flexibility. Now, as I said, except for on the tag pages, I've largely left these all naked, and the only tea-dyed papers in here are the parts of the tag pages and these tea-dyed pages. The rest of it are just straight-up papers. So tea-dyed paper, ledger paper. Here is a handmade tag. It is the same size as the one I showed you that I pulled out of both the front cover and that first pocket page there. Oh, my fingers are starting to hurt. I'm sorry. And then a little washi at the bottom. On the back is the same mass market paperback. Great for blackout poetry if you're into that. Otherwise, the same thing. You can push it into the background with gesso or white paint and add in your own embellishments and stuff. This is really just a fun journal to play with. Music papers. 4 squares per inch graph paper. Time card. I've included foreign language papers. A lot of these are from books that, like travel guides, that would give you like word phrases and stuff if you were traveling in a foreign country. And then some of them are just foreign language reading books. This is a card weight paper, scrapbooking paper. So and it's white on one side, and then it has the design on the other. Dip dyed index card, a coloring page. There's paisleys, and then there's also some mandala patterns, and those are the coloring paper on one side and blank on the other. Here's another homemade tag, little stamping on one side and the book page on the other. Graph paper. Now this slides in there, and I took it out because it was also hard to do with just one hand. So this is a side-loading pocket page, and you can fit more than this little card in there. That's just what I've included. So index card with a little tab on there that I made out of the same, it's the cutoffs from this paper, because this paper was actually a little bit wider. So I've used that as part of the tag, and that just fits in there, and it's super cute. But you can also fit other papers in here you can add to that. More tea-dyed paper. I have some vintage roads maps, so this is vintage road map. Guest check. I've had to tear off the bottom for the paper to fit, but I think it's still really cute. Ledger paper, tea-dyed paper, pocket or tag page with a little washi at the bottom. Music paper, graph paper, time card, Here's another foreign language page, coffee dyed index card. Here's some more of the scrapbooking paper, the card kind, with white on one side and an earth tone design on the other. And the listing will have the exact numbers of pages and things. The most pages in here are obviously the coffee dyed papers, and I love those. I've got some fun patterns on here from the dyeing process. Here's a mandala coloring page, another tag page. Now this is 10 squares per inch graph paper, and this is my favorite kind. It's a green tint paper. I really enjoy that. Another vintage map, guest check, ledger paper. This one, the first one was light blue. I think the second one was turquoise. This one is an olive green color that we've got on there. Same process. Some tea-dyed paper, a tag page, music paper, graph paper. Sorry, I'm like scrunching in on this. Index or a time card. This is a German language book page. This is a shinier, a slicker scrapbooking paper. 2 different patterns, one on each side. On these, you could also make them into a tuck spot by just gluing down these edges, and then you'd have a tuck spot. Or you could put a list in here and some pictures over here, do some collage work on this. Here is a tangerine dyed index card, more coloring paper, another tag page, in graph paper, tea dyed paper, Toronto vintage map, guest check. This is the purple dip dyed book page pocket with a little tag that goes with it. Oof, okay. More tea-dyed paper, tag page, music page, and with these ones with the leftovers from the spiral bound edge, you could put a little ribbon through that or a little twine. That look really cute. Again, all the edges are raw, so if you want it to be, you know, more pink tinted like the cover, or you wanted to add in different embellishments, that's why I haven't edged all the pages, because I really wanted to leave it up to the person receiving it, you know, to put their own personal touches on it. Time card. Here's another foreign language page. Another of the slick scrapbooking paper with 2 different designs. A blue tint index card, coloring page, tag page with the book page backing, graph paper, tea-dyed paper, New Mexico vintage map, guest check, ledger paper, tea-dyed paper, another tag page, music page, graph paper, time card. Here is some, I think it's Japanese, book page there. Another plain white on the inside, decorated on the outside scrapbook paper, index card. We've got coloring paper, the fan is blowing, graph paper. Here is a little pocket page or a little tag page right there with a little flower in the corner. A vintage map, guest check, tea-dyed paper, and then this is the last pocket page, and this one again has a tag in it, and you can see the little hole punches there. This one was plain on the back already, and it's made of a little bit of a thicker paper, so I didn't back this one because you can already journal on the back. Then there's the pocket, the top loading pocket page, and then I've added in this little extra turquoise page, you know, for listing, journaling, doing gratefuls, whatever you want. This is the back pocket, and this is one where I did make a little bit of a mistake. I meant to leave this edge open, So you could slide some things in there, and I just totally spaced it when I was gluing it down. And once it was down, that's kind of the end. I've added a little stamping in here, some gears. This is made out of 2 book pages glued together, and then this is also made out of a book page folded in half. It's just a little, you know, pocket there. Things that go in it are, love this. This one is a little mini, let's see. I can do this, I swear I can. It's the one-handed thing, it's killing me. So there, you know, a little list making, you could turn it this way and do some quotes or a little journaling. Something like that. And then the other one could be used as a bookmark or a little quotation or a tiny little list for something. I think that could just be a lot of fun right there. So that is the back cover right there. And then, again, you got the back right there. This is such a fun size, and I know it's a little messy right now, but I finished this, and I have to be honest, this paper, I know a lot of people like this kind of thing, was my least favorite cover. But when this was all done, I was like running around the house, squealing like a lunatic. I was so excited with how this turned out and so happy with it. And my son was like, "Are you still squealing about that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am. Because it just made me so happy. I love the size, so much fun. I see it, you know, great for listing, great for just some basic journaling. You could put, you know, I just see so many possibilities for this little compact size. You could use it as a dream journal, you know, trip planning, just all kinds of fun stuff right there. And I'll get all that stuff put back in there. And it will come nice and packaged. And there were a lot of cutoffs. And I'm not going to show the stuff in here because I kind of want the quote-unquote extras packet to kind of be a surprise. It will be things that are, you know, obviously I had to cut, you know, if we go through here, I had to cut down music pages. I had to cut down these time cards. Not so much with the book pages or the index cards, but I have cutoffs from some of the scrapbooking papers, the graph paper, the coloring book pages. You know, there were a lot of things that were cut down for this. So I'll put in some of the, it'll be smaller. It could be great for journaling cards. If I can get this closed again because I'm using one hand. Tip-ins, you know, if you want to put in some little flip-ups and, you know, the little things that go on the corners and you fold it. There's just a lot of possibilities, and I really wanted to leave this semi-plain for you, for the recipient to decorate it themselves, to, you know, put their little personal touch on there. But I'll include some items that aren't, you know, leftovers from the creation of this lot of 23 journals. And some things that definitely are, because some of the cutoffs were cute sizes. I thought they would be really fun for add-ins, tip-ins, you know, pockets. You clip it onto a page. And then some other little attachy things, you know, some paper clips and stuff like that. And I don't even know if the extras will be included in the auction picture, because I really want it to be a surprise. But I'll have to put up a sampling of what's going to be in there, and maybe note that you won't get the exact items in the picture for that, because it's going to vary per journal. This is the first one I finished, and I do have 22 more of them. But this is the only one that's finished. They're all semi-close to being finished. I have to put on the, you know, the cover. The last part for me is the cover inside and back. The front, because I've been debating on what to do with those. But if you have any questions, please feel free to respond in this video or message me on Etsy. There is a link below in the discussion box or the description box with my Etsy store in it. And I hope that you will check it out on Etsy. I will mark it as sold when it's sold. And thank you so much for your time today. I've had a great time showing this to you. I'm just super excited about how cute this turned out and how much fun it was to make it. See you next time. Have a great weekend or rest of the week. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.